Hi, I'm Ashley from Sunny Made, and today we are going to put together block 9 of our Beginner Skill Builder Sampler Quilt. Welcome back. We are on our last and final block of our Beginner Skill Builder Sampler Quilt. This is the beauty that we will be putting together today. Week 1, we should have done 3 color quarter square triangles. Week 2, we learned how to make what I call a ribbon block. Week 3 is tip week, and we learned how to trim our blocks when they're all different sizes and with all different rulers. And today we are going to be putting together our final block. This is so exciting. I'm excited to do this with you. Okay, so for us to be able to put our block together, you should have, get these all situated, 4 3-color quarter square triangles, okay, cut to 4.5 by 4.5 inches. You should have 4 of these ribbon blocks. Okay, these are also cut to 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And then I did just something fun in the middle, a bright blue square, 4.5 by 4.5 inches. Okay, get all your pieces together. We are going to take them to the sewing machine and we're going to put this block together. I know you know how to do this, but I will walk you through so that we can get everything lined up, seams going in the right direction, and we can end up with a beautiful block at the end. I have my iron nice and hot. Make sure you get that going. White thread on my sewing machine. Let's see, what else might you need? We're going to do a final trim, so a rotary cutter and a square or a ruler, whatever you have. If you have any questions about the tools or the supplies I'm using, I do have some links down in the description box. Go check those out. It'll take you over to Amazon and you can see what we're doing. So gather up your pieces and we'll go to the sewing machine. Okay, let's gather up all our pieces and we are going to lay them out. First, we're going to start with the blue in the middle. We are going to take our quarter square triangles and put them so that the single pattern fabric is towards the middle. So you want the single pattern towards the middle, the double pattern on each side, and then your background on towards the outside of the block. We're then going to take each of our corner ribbon block pieces and we are going to put them in the corner. All right, I know you know what we're doing, but I'm going to still walk you through. We're going to lay over each one of these just like this. Okay, we're going to line up the edges. There are no seams we need to line up. And then we're going to sew a 1/4 inch down each of these 3 sets. Okay, we have all our pieces sewn. Now, this is where we need to make sure that we're getting all of our seams ironed in the right direction so that they will line up. So what I'm going to do is take the quarter square triangles on all of them and place them down. Okay, what this allows me to do is I'm going to end up ironing the seams away from the quarter square triangles. So when it's the corner piece, that it's going to go towards the corner piece. Okay, and when it's our middle, I'm going to iron it towards the middle. And so when we line them back up like this, okay, our middle seam is going this way and our top and bottom seams are going this way. And then when we go to sew the rows together, they are going to nest. They're going to go in different directions and they are going to nest. So now when we go to do the next set, we're just folding these over. We're going to line up our edges here and sew right down each of those rows. Once again, we're going to put our quarter square triangles down. And this will allow us to make sure that our seams are all going the right direction. Okay, we're going to set the seam, finger press it open, and iron it. Okay, set that seam, finger press it open, and iron it into place. And now we have our 3 rows for this quilt block. Yay, we're almost done. Take our top one, fold it down. Okay, we want to line up our seams. This seam, okay, and this seam. We ironed them the right way so that they should nest perfectly. If you need to, put a pin in it and get them all in place. So I'm going to do this one, sew it into place. Then I'm going to grab this one and put it on here, pin it into place, and sew right along that straight edge. Okay, here I have both sides sewn on. We're putting this on our ironing mat. We're setting our seam just like we always do. Finger press it open. Sometimes I stick my finger over here on the side as I start to iron to make sure that this edge here is going the right direction, especially when you have a couple of seams coming in here. It might get folded back in a different direction. So check those edges. Check that edge, looks good. Okay, I need to iron this side. See, this is where we might want to start checking our edges or our seams to make sure that they're all going that right direction. Hold it open. Try not to burn your fingers. Oh man, look how pretty that block is. Save the best for last, right? All right, now we need to take it to the cutting board. Last week I covered how to trim up these blocks if you don't have a square the right size. So if you don't have a 12.5 by 12.5 inch square, make sure you go check that video out so you know what to do. So I'm going to take this square, had to go grab my rotary cutter. We're going to take this square. Okay, these pieces are all 4.5 inches. Once we get the seam on here, they're going to be 4 inches, 4.25, 4.25. So we're going to line up this vertical seam that runs top to bottom and this horizontal seam that runs all the way across with the 4.25 line. And that dot where it comes together should be right there on that corner. Okay, our diagonal line should keep hitting at each of these seams all the way across our block. So without making it move, we're going to hold it in place and trim one side. I am going to move my hand slightly. And then the other side. Okay, You can do one side at a time. I'm going to flip it all the way around. I now have trimmed the left side and the bottom. So this makes it super easy to trim the last two sides. What I'm going to do is line up the bottom corner edge, the bottom edge, and the left side with the edge of this square. And if you want to double check your lines, we have lines at 4 1/4. We have a diagonal that goes right through all of those lines. And I'm going to put my hand down firmly, do one side, and then the top. And there you have a beautiful new quilt block. Our final quilt block in this series. Look at that. How pretty that is. And look at these lines. We have a diamond coming out here. We have lines this way. We have lots of points going all the way around. And that's kind of why I put this one in the middle of my quilt, is because it has so much going on. I thought it was a nice way to draw everything together and looking towards this beautiful block. Okay, now we have our finished block. It's our last one of the series. I'm super excited to be putting this all together with you. So we are going to gather up all our blocks, and I'm going to show you how to put them into our quilt. You should have at this point 9 blocks that are all 12.5 by 12.5 inches. We're going to need a little bit more colored fabric and some more background fabric. We're going to put some stashing on it, and then I'm going to show you some options for quilting it, and then we're going to go over binding. So those are our next several weeks. There might be a tip week in there if I decide that there's something else that we need to go over. But other than that, gather your blocks. It's time to put them together. I hope you have a great day. And make sure if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I will come back and answer them. And then, of course, don't forget to like and to subscribe so that you can get the next video to your inbox. Thank you and have a great day. Happy sewing!